Why do couriers do this? How am I gonna, like, I guess I'll go out the garage and go f myself. Well, it arrived. My Rezun or Rezun LP60 low noise air pump. I really only care about how noisy it is, and we're about to find out just how bad that is. This literally only just arrived. My idea is to put it in there and I'll run some PVC up and across and over, and this should be enough to run the entire fish room rather than tons of little pumps. We've got one really massive one, so there'll be a trip to Bunnings in the not too distant future, so I'll have to get some fittings to get that over to 15mm, I'm guessing, PVC. I have the little air splitters showing up really shortly with the little valve so you can control the flow for each tank. So we've got a bit of planning to do. Let's get it out of the box and we'll see what makes this thing tick. It's pretty well packaged, but it did show up with a hole in the side where the power cord was hanging out. But supposedly that is an Australian power cord. Oh man, this thing is massive, way bigger than I thought. I'll just check out the plug quickly. It all looks good, doesn't look damaged. Honestly, I think I'm at the point now where I can actually call it a fish room because I've got a fish room air pump. So 50 watt power draw, that's going to be all the time. But my idea behind this will be that this will be the only thing that I will back up by generator power. So when the power goes out, I only want to keep this thing running, because in one of my last videos you would have seen that I did the Matten filters, and they all run off that. So hopefully more tanks in my fish room will run off Matten filters in the future, but the Matten and air is enough to power the rest of the fish room in a power loss, and 50 watts is a very tiny draw. I might even just be able to get a backup UPS and just keep the generator for worst case scenarios. It looks like it's going to be close. It looks like if I heat up this 15mm, it should slide on fairly easily, and then I can put like a clamp or something over it to stop it from leaking. Now that I think about it, I should probably check for accessories, see what we've got in here. So here's your monster breakout for, I don't know, like 15 or something, 20 maybe outlets in there. Well, that wasn't a bad guess. So this is a 14-way outlet which goes onto this flexible hose that they supply. Some really good clamps, and look at that, straight onto that 15mm. So it looks like I won't have to go too crazy. We'll be able to just start plumbing that as soon as I make a trip down to Bunnings. The only other test I want to see is how loud it is. Alright, got a plug. Hopefully it's not going to be too much louder. Alright, I know this isn't going to be the best test because the air is going straight to atmosphere here. But the pump fits nicely on my little food shelf here. Here's what it sounds like. So off. Oh, you're kidding. It's quiet as. Oh, it moves so much air. Wow, that's a lot of air. Surely that's way too quiet. There's a hum, but it's not even as loud as my other pumps. So I use these little guys, and it's not even as loud as them. So happy with this already. Cool. All right. Well, next step, I guess, is to have a better look at the instructions. All right, we are prepping. I have got my 15mm PVC pipe and all the joiners and everything that I'll need. We'll be making a snippy here. That will be where the pump starts. So the pump is on this shelf under here, and it's facing the back. There's plenty of clearance there. Then we're going to tee off. Once it's all connected up, there's end caps obviously on these. There's an end cap on that one, and an end cap on that one. So no air should be able to get out, but now we will have plenty of air for this whole fish room. I've just got to cut these to the right size, put it up, check it all, and then cement it, connect it up to the pump. We'll do a test then. All of this will be up fairly high, and I'll run longer lengths down to the bottom, and the reason for that will be, if for any reason that pump ever turns off, there won't be any possibility of siphoning back through the system. So say you had pipe down at this level here. If you've got pipe down here and the pump's here, the pump turns off, it could potentially siphon back through the pump. A lot of people will put check valves on there, so one-way valves, but I don't want to do that because it's just an added expense, which I may as well just use tubing for. So The pipes will be up here, and the tubes will, if they have to, go all that distance, but that's okay because I'll buy a whole roll of air tube. Most of the hard work's done now. Most of it's cut to size. This will connect up to here and go up the wall. There it will tee off and do all these tanks here. I'll go above here and all the way to the end there. We're one step closer to having central air in the fish room. And I'd like to give a big shout out and thanks to Blake's Aquatics for suggesting this one here. Surely you've seen Blake's Aquatics by now. If you don't, here's the thumbnail in the top corner and I'll take you to Blake's channel. He suggested this and we know now it is super quiet and 70 litres a minute. It's just a huge amount of air. We're all plumbed in now. The air pump's there. It's got that elbow that runs up. It splits off there. There's a cap on that end, so we can always add another rack on later if we need to. We've got air all along that. We'll do that entire rack. We'll run above the door and across and behind there. I'll take that away later because currently I'm using these style of pumps. Don't love them that much. I ordered 60 of these T-taps. Now these are for 4mm airline tubing, which hasn't arrived yet. But the idea behind these is that you can glue them into place and drill them wherever you like on your PVC. So adding them in is as simple as drilling a new hole, the right size of course, but once they're in there you can vary the amount of flow. These will obviously be PVC cemented in, so that glues them in place, but then you can have as many as you like, wherever you like, around your central air system. We're just waiting on that airline now. That should arrive tomorrow or the day after, and then we can start drilling some holes. I'm just going to do some tests in this first because I've never actually done this before, so you're learning as I am. I can't wait. It's going to make it such a better fish room having air in here. And in case you're wondering, I did leave enough room at the end of this one here so we can chop that off in the future, add another joiner to it for when we put our second rack in here. And I hope this really helps some of you with a fish room of maybe the size where I'm at the moment, where you've got this much tankage and you want to add more and you're sick of just adding on tiny little pumps to just get louder and louder and keep adding to your electricity bill. Why do couriers do this? How am I gonna... It's arrived. The courier dropped it right in front of my door, so I couldn't even open the door. There we go, 100 metres of silicon air tubing. Environmental protection type elastic aeration hose. Cool story. Well, time to get to it, I guess. So follow me, the next video we'll be plumbing in some more of that air and we'll go from there. I hope to catch you on my next video. Catch you next time.